exercise your very distinguished right to vote. So today we have with us two candidates for the Monterey Park City Council. There are 2 seats open in that election. There are no incumbents running, which is quite rare in itself. There are 5 candidates. We sent an email with a letter to each of the candidates and with a number of questions, then asked them to respond to those questions in writing. And only those candidates that sent us back their responses in writing were invited to speak to us, because it showed us that they were committed, A, to their campaign and their candidacy, and B, to help educate all sorts of folks, including the realtors of this association. So I'm very pleased to have with us today Hans Ling and Peter Chan, 2 of the 5 candidates for the Monterey Park City Council. And so I'm going to ask each of them to begin by introducing themselves to us with a 2 or 3 minute statement. And then I'm going to ask them some questions, and then we'll open it up to the floor for a few questions, and then we'll give them each a minute to close. So it won't take too long, but listen carefully, because if you're living in Monterey Park, these are the people that you might think about voting for. And if you work in Monterey Park, they will continue to impact how you do business. So we'll start with Peter, just because you're first on my list here. And you got 2 or 3 minutes to tell us about yourself and why you're running.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to be here, and it's an honor to be here to face you, present myself, and hopefully I can get your support and your endorsement, and tell your friends about me so that I can be elected to be the City Council of Monterey Park. And I want to tell you a little bit about myself, then I go on to what I stand for, that kind of things. I'm an immigrant from Hong Kong, and I come over here in 1969, so my face may look a little bit younger than my age, but don't get deceived on that. But been here a long time, and I went to University of Wisconsin, and then after school I came to, oh, you're from Wisconsin. Thank you. That's good. The Badgers, go Badgers. And so I've been in Monterey Park since 74, 75, and stayed there until now. So I'm a long-term resident of Monterey Park, and I am a product of Monterey Park, and I love Monterey Park. And I think the most important thing in Monterey Park now is public safety, because everyone wants to go home after their work and feel safe and feel comfortable with the family, with the children, and relax. And so public safety will also increase the home value of the cities. And so we need to have the first world-class police department and world-class fire department to protect lives and property of all people in the city. And of course, it is not only applicable to Monterey Park, but applicable to everyone in the world. And so that's the number 1 thing. And the number 2 thing that I want to address is the education, because I am with the Monterey Park Library Foundation, and before I was appointed to be the Board of Trustees of the Monterey Park Library, and I served 2 full terms, 6 years, and I was one of the person with a lot of other friends like Mike Gang, our former assembly person. We solicit donations, contributions from the community, and raise over $600,000 together with state money and local measure money to build the new library. So we have a brand new library. Well, it's 5 years old now. So that's one of my efforts. And because education is so important, and the library will cooperate with the school districts, with different schools to promote after-school tuitions, after-school programs, and have the children to read more. So that's the education. And with the good school districts, then the value of the homes, of course, will increase. And that will make the city more attractive for people to come in. And thirdly, I would like to see more business coming into the city. Now, Marketplace is the last big parcel in Monterey Park, which is on the south side of the city, close to a 60 freeway. And a lot of national name companies will come into that place later. But I can see a lot of vacancies in the different shopping centers along the Garvey Atlantic Boulevard. And also a lot of empty lots, small lots. And I would like to see them to be built up to serve the local residents and also increase the sales tax base, property base, so that the city has more revenue. And I would like to see the city hall be more business friendly. And that will also increase the value of Monterey Park. And those are the few things the major few things that I would like to see to do if I were elected to be the city council in March 5th. So I would like to see what's in your mind, what's your issues. I would like to answer questions right afterwards. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hans Leong, and as you know, I'm one of the candidates for Monterey Park City Council as well. Before I begin today, I'd like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak. And I'm truly impressed with the opening that you've had. I've never been to one of your meetings, and I know that as a real estate profession, you do a lot of sales and things like that, and you need something like your inspirational quotes and to support you to keep going, because I can imagine when you first start, when I graduated from high school, I got my real estate license, and being 17, 18 years old, your network of people that you can sell homes to is not really that big, so I can see how in the beginning it can be frustrating, but with a group like the West San Gabriel Valley Board of Realtors and this support system and the education that they provide is really impressive, and I'd like to commend you all, the staff and everyone, for providing this kind of support system to all these people here. I am a 11-year resident of the city of Monterey Park. I currently serve and work in the community as a deputy probation officer for the LA County Probation Department. I've been doing that for 15 years. I've done various programs in the community working with juveniles, after-school programs, and things like that. I also serve as the president of the Asian Pacific Probation Association, which represents deputies within our department. And I was recently elected as the first vice president for the LA County Deputy Probation Officers Union. And the first Chinese American, actually the first Asian American to be elected to their executive board in the 67-year history of their union. In terms of community, I served prior on the city's Recreations and Parks Commission. I served for 2 years on that commission, and I currently serve on the city's Planning Commission, and I've been doing that for 2 years. And as Peter had mentioned, we had approved a development agreement for the Monterey Park Marketplace, which our city council had also approved, and we're looking forward to moving that project ahead. That's something that our residents have been waiting over 10 years to occur, and at this point we brought it further than it has been ever in history. Regarding some of my goals for the city, definitely public safety is an issue, but I feel one of the more important issues is our finance and budget. As you know, we suffered a lot of losses as a result of the dissolution of the community redevelopment agencies, and as a result we had a lot of layoffs that occurred and furloughs and things like that. So one of the primary things I would like to do is sit down with our city manager and our city staff to work out our budget. And then also one of the issues that we have in our city at this point is we don't have a full-time finance manager, which is something that I think is very important, especially when we're in a crisis with budget and finance issues, that we need to have someone that's dedicated towards our finances. School, public safety is important. As a deputy probation officer for the past 15 years, I've had the opportunity to work directly with our Monterey Park Police Department on various operations, including their Asian gang consortium, and working with them to bring down houses of prostitution in the city. Obviously, things like that bring down property values, and we don't want to have that in our community. Education is important as well. I'm a strong advocate for youth programs. I also serve on the board of the Asian Youth Center of the San Gabriel Valley. And in my duties there, I started their first digital music program where we have kids coming in after school, and we have a studio set up in our facility at the Asian Youth Center where they can come and produce music. So that's something in terms of youth that I want to promote to help enhance their education with programs that are not normally offered in traditional school curriculum. So once again, I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak today, and thank all of the executive board members of the West San Gabriel Board of Realtors for having us and for taking the time to put this event together in order for you to all get a better view of who the candidates are and what we represent for the cities. Thank you.
Question for you, because I didn't hear this in your opening comments. What do you do for a living, and do you have experience in local government, and why is it that you're running for city council?
I'm an accountant by profession. I have my own firm, and also I am a small business owner. I have an import-exporting business, and we export fruits from Asian countries and South America, Mexico, and so forth. And that's what I've been doing. And the reason why I run for city council is because I am involved in the city since 1985. And that was official, English as official language. And that put me into the political situation. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for learning English and speaking English. But at that time, because Monterey undergoes some new immigrants coming into the city, so the old residents in there, the mainstream, they don't like the scene of change at that time. So there was some backlash for the immigrants. It's kind of a racial situation at that time. And so that's why I come out, because of the freedom of speech, freedom of expression that was under the protection of the constitutions. So that's why I have to stand up for the rights. And that's how I come into the city. And once you get into the political situation, you cannot get out. And so I was involved in all the issues in the city since then. I was with all the measures like the fire department wants to go to the county. There was Measure V and Measure J, and a lot of citizens opposed that. We want to have the fire department because we have a fine fire department, and so we want to keep it that way. And also the police department, I kind of work with them to get the community policing started in the city. And so at the time, because also the immigrants situation, so there was tension between the police and the residents. So I come out and talk to the police chief, and we put on a performance in council chambers, and we attract over 200 people come to see the show, to see the performance. We use that the case, actual case as a performance to tell people how to deal with the police under those kinds of situations. And even the sheriff department, Alhambra Police Department, El Monte Department, and some other police department sent representatives to come to see this show. And that was a big success. And then I was involved in the library, as I talked about. And so I'm involved in the city for such a long time. And I think now this is the time, because of the budget issue, because of the development issues and the safety issues, that I think those things that I'm involved in and I'm good at, and I can look at the numbers since I'm an accountant. And so, as I say always, people can lie, numbers don't. So I can see the budget, I can see what's going on, I can pick out the wastes and pick out the manipulation of the numbers, and we can go from there, and hopefully at that way we can build up a better reserve, more revenue for the city, and more services to all the people in the city.
Thank you. Hans, question for you. You enumerated some of the things that you are involved with at the local level. What tweaked you to finally run for city council, and how do you think the things that you're involved with now will help you?
Yeah, we had discussed that earlier when we came in. The political arena is not a path that I thought I would be taking. It actually all began for me when I mentioned earlier I became the president of the Asia Pacific Probation Association. That organization had been in our department for about 15 years at the time, and they represented Asian Pacific Islanders in the department. And as things go and things progress, you have a certain generation of leadership that's retiring and moving on. So, they're always seeking the next generation of leadership to take over. So I remember attending one of the meetings when they were discussing that, and they were saying, okay, we need to find the new leaders, and they look around the room, and everyone is kind of looking away, trying to avoid, being picked or anything, if you will, So nobody wanted to do it, and, the previous leader said then, well, we don't have an option, we're gonna have to close the organization. So at that point, I made the decision that we couldn't let that happen, and that's when I said I would serve as the president. So, thinking that that would be the only thing I would be doing is serving as president for that organization, how naive I was. As a result, you go to different events, you go to different functions, and you meet different people. I had the opportunity of meeting now Congresswoman Judy Chu, former Assembly Member Mike Ng, as well as a number of other local politicians. And unfortunately, when it comes to politics and things that are going on in the community, most people, they don't know what's going on. Their attitude is that, okay, well, I have my home, my family, I just worry about what's going on here. But as a result of being involved in politics and then kind of opening that door and being able to see through what was going on, I became more, disturbed at certain things that were going on. And, being naive, thinking that, well, we have leaders that are supposed to be doing what, looking out for the best interests of the people and doing what they can to serve the people, I realized that that wasn't the case, and that there were people that were doing things for other reasons, whether it be for their own ego, for power, or for whatever that may be. So in seeing that, I slowly got more involved in certain political arenas in terms of the Deputy Probation Officers Union. I'm sure you guys have heard in the news about realignment and the early release of prisoners now being supervised at the local level by our staff instead of state parole because of their budget issues. So, and then I don't know if you know, there was an issue that happened recently where one of these early release parolees had murdered 4 people in Northridge, ran off to Las Vegas, and was actually caught and brought back. And, one of the issues that bothered me with that is because we have our staff dealing with these people now, but that we're not armed. The department says, no, you don't get to carry a gun. So that bothered me significantly, because you want us to go supervise these parolees that have guns and that have already illustrated to us in their behaviors that they're willing to kill people, and you want us to go there without a gun. So in terms of my involvement with the union, we pushed for that. Unfortunately, through the state, we weren't able to get it, but through our efforts, our chief had decided to arm those units that are dealing with those specific parolees. So again, it's really fighting for the right of, sometimes it be probation officers, or for the rights of the people in the community. And in terms of the city of Monterey Park, most people don't know what's going on in terms of the city council, and for those of you who do know and do follow, you'll see that there has been a lot of contention and a lot of fighting that's going on. And that really disturbed me as well, because these people are elected by the residents to represent them, to do what's best for them, to make the best decisions for the residents. And some people, you talk about, oh, I want to do it because I have this title, or I feel important, or I'm a significant member of the community. But for me, it's a chance to do something better for the community, to make things better, but at the same time, it is a burden. And I feel that anyone who's doing it for the right reasons will feel the same way, because you have 65,000 residents that live in the city, and you have 5 members of the council who are making decisions that are going to influence everybody. And that's a big responsibility. It's easy to just live at your house and do your own thing and not worry about that. But I, as a result of my experience, felt that we need people in that chamber to make the best decisions and who have the best interests of the residents first. So as a result of that, I decided to run.
I stand up because you touched on my next question. In 1 minute,
Okay.
answer. City councils frequently are contentious, and Monterey Park has had a history certainly lately. What specific skills do you bring to the table that can help smooth out that contentiousness and get a council moving together with one vision and one goal?
Okay, well, I think what I have is I'm able to look at things objectively. I'm able to put my ego aside and analyze the issues and see what's best for the city. I think a lot of times people get too emotional about issues, and when you're emotional, you make bad decisions. So I think that I have the ability to look at things objectively. I have the ability to analyze things, look at the facts, and make the best decisions without including my emotion or my ego or any vindictive types of grudges and holding things like that. Because for someone who is doing it for the city, that should be easy. If someone is doing it for themselves, then it can be difficult.
Thank you very much. And Peter, same question. And that will be the last one, and then we'll open it up.
Yes, the council members has been at odds a lot of times in the city. But I'm the person that not saying that this is my way or no way. I'm not that kind of person. I want to reach out to the other side. I want to reach out to everyone, not just the council members, but all the staff, the city managers, and also the residents. To build consensus, to bridge differences. We want to talk. And I always believe, if you extend a hand of friendship, no one is going to deny your friendship. And that's what I will do to try to ease the tension and build consensus. I think that's the most important thing. To listen to all the facts and come up with the best solution. And no one can deny that. And no one can say, no, I'm not going to sit down, we're going to fight or that kind of things. So with sincerity, with friendship, with a smile, I think that can go a long way.
Thank you very much. Okay. Carl, hang on a sec. Okay. Questions, and then your answers are 1 minute, because we have about 4 minutes before we need to be finished. So, okay.
I attended the city council meeting, the last meeting, and the mayor had the mic, and he says, I'm bothered, so things are bothering me, I'm going to leave. And he hands the mic over to the vice mayor. So I'm sitting there, and then the vice mayor, she is dumbfounded, and she looks at the group, and she says, I really, the scene bothered me, and I'm going to get up and walk away. And Betty Tom Chu, because the council should be 5, but it's only 4, because she had said the same thing and quit the council. And I'm sitting in the audience, and I said, I'll be good, please don't leave. You know? But it didn't help. The question is, well, really, I mean, if you're there to serve, and if something bothers you, I'm going to get up and walk away.
Should take you a one-word answer here. Go ahead. You've got to leave the mic.
Okay. I was in the audience at that time too, and I was dumbfounded too. And how can this happen? And for me, I would never do that, because if I got elected to the city council, it's my duty to serve the people. And by walking out, not doing my job, I am disservice to the people and disgraced people's trust in me. And for me, I can promise you, I will never do this. Because as I said before, I will listen to people. I want to build consensus. I want to listen to everyone, know all the facts, and then make the best decision for the people. Because it's not me, not my egos in jeopardy, because I'm serving the people. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I observed that as well. I was very disappointed. You know, I kind of, an analogy I have is it's like a captain who abandons ship before people are all off safely, you know. And then also, you know, we look to the council as a leadership of the city. What are we to think when our leaders leave their post unattended? You know, I agree with Peter in that that's, you know, I was very ashamed to see that. I would never do that. The only time I would ever leave the council chambers before a meeting adjourned is if I had a medical emergency, a family emergency, or if the building was on fire.
Names Veneziano, I have two little things. One is answer to when you take a position. When nobody wants, I was on a convention on 400 people, and I put that answer down, and they picked up mine, in Las Vegas. And the question is, apparently we know around the South City, on the way, which a city is run by more or less by the manager, and the council people, they just vote according to the staff, without verifying the number and the fact. And apparently, that's why we have a city around here which is ruining down.
start? Oh, Peter, I think your turn to start. Okay, is there any, okay, Hans, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, it's true that the city manager is the one that's running the city. He gets paid the big dollars to do his job. As a council member, we need to keep, we need to give the city manager and the staff direction. We need to be able to set out measurable objectives along the way, and we need to be able to check in with them to see how they're making their progress. And we do need to keep track of them. While we do need to give them the tools to do the job, we need to also keep an eye on them to make sure that they're doing things in the right way.
Thank you. Again, less than 1 minute is good.
There's a reason for this. Because the city council, as we mentioned before, there's the different opinions, the infightings among the council members. Never come into a consensus, never come into an agreement most of the time. And that makes the manager strong. Because he runs the city, not the city council. That's the basic foundation. That's the root of the matter. So that's why we need to change that. We need a stronger council members in there to oversee what's going on. And I think I'm the right person to see that because I can see the numbers, and I work with the people. That's the most important thing. And so we won't get our manager have so much power because of the infighting. So if we work together, it won't happen.
Thank you.
Bob Atkin, I've been selling real estate in Monterey Park for 40 years, and I've watched over the years, the city government just keeps growing and growing, and we used to have 5 people in the building department. There's 27 people today. Had to take 2 floors just to house the building department. The city hasn't grown 1 square inch. Yet the infrastructure in the city is falling apart. What do you see to shrink the size of government in Monterey Park and grow the infrastructure?
Because of the economic downturns, not just Monterey Park, but all the cities in the whole nation suffered. So we don't have too much money. So the Monterey Park City has cut Friday service. So we only open 4 days. So personnel has been cut, managers has been cut, all things has been cut. And so now is the time to overturn it. Infrastructure is very important. We need to pave the potholes, trim the trees, make the street clean, make the parks clean, so that everyone can enjoy the city. And that will attract business to come into the city. Then that will start in the right way to build more reserve, more revenue base, sales tax base, property tax base, more, and that will increase the revenue and that will give more services to the city.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, as a quick answer to that, that's quite a big question, but I would say that a process would be to first do an audit of all of our departments and what their duties are, and through the audit to be able to see whether we need to increase or whether we need to trim fat on those departments. It is, the budget issues have affected us significantly, but at the same time, we want to make sure, like you said, I feel that you feel that sometimes our staff gets a little bit too big and too much fat, if you will, and too much more than what's necessary to run the government efficiently. But I think that an audit of all the departments would be a good place to start to get a clear picture of where we stand regarding staffing and our current responsibilities to the community.
Thank you. And Sil, you're the last question.
Okay. I thank you, gentlemen, for coming and being introduced to our Realtor family. We belong to different parties, but we belong, most importantly, to the Realtor Party. We're here to protect property rights, and we want to know that we have your support in helping us make Monterey a place where people want to buy homes. So, you've got a lot of things on your plate. We want you to know that we're here for you. If you need questions on real estate, come to us. We're here for you. If you want to know how many homes or single-family homes, come to us. We have that information. You probably do too. But we're a resource, and I hope that you will use us. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, each 1 minute, and Peter, we started with you, so Hans, we'll start with you. 1 minute to...
All right, I know you guys have an agenda after this, so I'll make this brief. Just again, thank you all for giving us the opportunity to speak here tonight. I would, in regards to the comments from the last lady, we're never going to be able to make everybody happy. That's just the bottom line. But what I'm committed to is my door will always be open to listen, to discuss any issues that you may have. And I look forward to your support for this election on March 5th. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to answer questions and tell a little bit about myself. So thank you again, and I hope I can get your support. And I'm honored to have the support of Judy Chu, Mike Gang, Ed Hernandez, John Chang, school board members, and so forth. But the most important thing is I would like to have the support of the people, you, your friends, your neighbors. That's the most important support that I need. That's the most important support that I would like to have. That will put me into this city council to serve the people. And I will listen to people, I will work with people, and hopefully we can move forward together, not backwards, and make Monterey Park a better city for everyone to live in. The home value will increase, the business value, property will increase. That will serve everyone in the city and hopefully in the vicinity of Monterey Park. So thank you for your support, and please go to vote March 5th. Thank you.